Thank you. Good evening. A few years ago, when my mom talked to me in high school, she said, "It's your junior year, start thinking about what you want to go to college for." I'm like, I'm good in math. I couldn't see that. So I looked at the phys ed teachers at the high school. They looked to be having fun. They seemed to have a good time going. I go, I could see myself doing this for 35, 40 years. So when I go to Westchester, one of the first things that catches my eye is this grizzled, bald-headed man who walked with a limp. He always wore his Army fatigues and drove an Army-issued Jeep. I'm like, who is this guy? And he'd shoot off the cannon he'd pack it full of leaves and paper every time Westchester scored a touchdown. And found out, talked to some of the upperclassmen. He goes, who is this guy? He goes, that's Sturz. Who's Sturz? He goes, Dr. Sturzenbecker. He was in the war. And so I found out he went to Westchester. He told me himself, he blocked off a hallway because it was hunting season and they didn't want anybody to get hit. So they put a target at the end of the dorm hall and they'd practice that would be their target range while as students and undergrads, things you can get away with in the 40s. So he went to the war, came back, and taught at Westchester, and he coached there. And so I took this class of his, Principles of Recreation. I think everybody on campus took that class, whether you're a phys ed major or not. It was one of those CATE courses. And it was one where you got to make up your own grade at the end. But one of the things we did was a field day, or a camp day, and pick your own topic. So in my group, we say, let's come back on Monday, and we'll think of what we did. And I was the only one who did the work, so okay, we did campfires. So afterwards, he comes up, pulls me by the arm, and goes, hey, Wesolowski, you did a good job there. You just gave him a slice, not the whole loaf, and that way you leave him coming back for more. You didn't bore him with too much talking. I'm like, thanks. So then we did, at the end of the season, the end of the semester, we did a Golden Agers Day. It was like a Christmas party for the senior citizens. And everybody did something different and they delegated different assignments. Because as he said, you see, even when Jesus had his last meal, he didn't have to do a thing. Somebody got the room, somebody brought the bread, somebody brought the wine. They all wanted to be a part of it. So I'm walking down the hallway, and there was his office, a light shining from it. So I go walking down. Since he knows me now, hey, Wesolowski, come on in here, have a seat. What are you going to be doing the next 5 years? And he said that out of the corner of his mouth because the other was filled with a cigar. Never lit, but he always chewed on his cigar. And he got me thinking, what am I going to do in the next 5 years? And then he goes, tell you what, I want to get a postcard from you from Poland. Have you been back to the motherland yet? So when you go, let me know. I'll get the pastor from the nearby church. He'll come out and meet you at the airport. And the more I got to know him, the more I believed it. Because he would tell me stories. He'd pull a book off. Hey, here's a book of this airplane that crashed in the war. And I know that some of my brothers are still in that plane. So one of these years, we're going to go back and raise that plane and bring our brothers back home. And it happened. And things that he did, he was a carte blanche. He could get anything accomplished. During the Cold War, he brought the Soviet gymnastics team to Westchester in the early 1960s. And he would pull off pictures. He would show me slide carousels. Oh, yeah, and this is a picture of Uncle Adolf. And right next to him is Fat Hermann Goering. And he'd show me pictures of 36 Olympics with Jesse Owens and Uncle Adolf and all the other Nazis that were in the stands. And so whenever I'd see his light down the hall, I'd look at my watch. I go, do I have 30 minutes to kill? Because he'd suck me in. Hey, Wesolowski, sit down here. What have you been doing with yourself? But they'd always had an alumnus in there. And that's what kept me coming back for more, because they had stories. One told me, we're taking a test, and he said, put your books under the desk. Take out a piece of paper. Tell me what this class was about in a 4-line poem that rhymed with the word beer. And I was like, what? He goes, either that or a 200 true and false question test. Okay, poem it is. He goes, I did that to make him think. Then another one tells me that he had to cover for another teacher. He goes, oh, what's the topic? Heart disease. All right, I got it. So here, he goes in, starts getting into an argument with a student, and then drops on the floor because he's getting a heart attack. Or so he wanted the students to believe. And he goes, what? None of you know how to help somebody, can't identify what the signs of a heart attack are. So then he went about teaching them. Got the teachable moment. He got their attention. Another alumnus tells me he gets in an argument because the talk was stress management. He reaches down into his pants, pulls out a hand grenade from the war. They don't know it wasn't a dummy. They know Sturts is nuts. He pulls the pin and throws it down the hall at the kids. And someone's saying, yeah, one person even dove headfirst out the window. This is how I know all of his stories were true, because later on, I catch up to somebody who's telling me, I'm sitting in the back of the room, this argument with him and a student, and I see this hand grenade coming at me. I turn around and dive headfirst right out. And here another one was where we were told during conditioning class, everybody go stand on these rocks. We took a run out into the weeds. You see this marble? Old Main Hall was knocked down. It was a beautiful building. The campus let it fall apart. Sturts got all the football players and wrestlers under the cloak of darkness. They stole all the marble archway, and they hid it in the weeds. Because someday Sturts is going to have this thing reinstalled. So years later, I get my alumni book. I open it up. I'm like, son of a bitch. There he is standing there with all the dignitaries, the president of the campus, underneath the arch. So if you pass by, I believe, on High Street, you can see that arch from the old main building. So whenever I'm doing something, whether at my school with Field Day or Dr. Seuss Day or a Harvest Festival, I know he's looking down on me, giving me the thumbs up, because I can hear him saying, just keep doing it, because the others, they hate you, they spit at you, they say things behind your back because they want to be like you, but they can't. So every day, I can't go by another day without coming up with another Sturtsism, as I say. And I'll say these stories and more will be able to be read in his book as soon as I get around to write it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.